morning. We have got time to do. The week is open here. The week is open. It has been open. It's Wednesday though. Is it Wednesday? Is it Wednesday? It's Tuesday. It's Tuesday. It says right there. Right on the date. So we're going to do a quick open, high, low, close on gold. Just because, well, lo and behold, it's ripping. It's ripping today. Indices are down. If you've been paying attention to the last few videos on the S&P, looking like it jumped right out of the box. Maybe have a down week. We'll see. But I want to take a look at gold because we haven't looked at gold in a while. And it's all over the place. What's going on with gold? I don't know. It's up over 1600 now. Is that a new high? A new local high? No, 1613. That's right. Was the high, but it's ripping up pretty good, and it took out that last high. It did take out this last high, so I mean it looks pretty good. So where could we have gotten into this uptrend if we're late to the party, or we're already late to the party? Just looking at last week's open, high, low, and close scenario, and we're just looking at swing pivots. One thing I'm looking to do as well on this 15-minute chart is put the ATR, but I've got to do the math on that because there's a lot of candles here, and the look back would be all over the place. So maybe that's something we can investigate today. Maybe looking at the number of trading hours in a day. Finding the number of candles in a full day, and then maybe using a range of, that length plus 2.0 factor, or maybe even a 3.0 factor to keep you in the trade, and find out if it lines up here with good buy signals, because that would make it a lot easier. It certainly would make it a little bit easier in terms of identifying like a true range, identifying the impulse. I mean, because this impulse here looks, I mean, when you look back at it, it's easy enough, right? From the low up here, looks like a pretty decent impulse. It's a nice hike, and so was this from this pivot to the low. But where would you have gotten in the trade? Where would you have gotten into this short position here? Yeah, maybe right here. You got your high here. Just looking at pivots, just looking at fractals on the 15-minute chart. We can try different time frames as well and see what we got. But I like right now. I like the 15-minute. And if I didn't say so already, this is Paramay Trades. Please be advised here. I'm not an advisor. I'm working off a lot of different course groups and studies. Larry Williams' books are one of them. Probably listed in the description here. But I've done a lot of different course studying, and this is where I am right now. So we're using Larry's methods here, and we're just studying swing pivots. It's back to the chart here. So we've got a lower high on this side. Does this look like a nice lower high here? Was this confirmation that this was kind of a intermediate top? Or in terms of this chart, 15-minute, we're only looking at 15 days or 10 days. Is this your weekly high? Was that your weekly high? Did we get a nice pivot? Lower highs on both sides. And this looks like a pretty good impulse back up into a pivot here, right? And then we run into this pivot over here, and we don't clear it. So we come down, we come back up and retest. Maybe here's your entry for a short position. It's right up in here. That looked good to me. I'd probably take it. We did not trade through this high. We got lower highs on both sides. Yeah, it would have been a nice little rip down here. And you would have held. Where would you have held to? Well, hopefully you just take some damn profits when you're in them. It was Wednesday and Thursday, so I guess Sunday you held through the entire week. You opened it up here. Maybe you got a position. Maybe you took this position on the open and said, "Hey, the high is in." We just traded through this low here. We just traded through that, and I think that this is going down. That's a pretty good impulse. This is good, comes back up. This is probably your safest entry is right here. That's what I think the safest entry would have been anyway. So how would we have known the bottom was in? Man, same damn thing every time, right? I mean, we've just looked at a whole bunch of charts within the last couple of days, and we get this same accumulating pattern on the bottom. Is there something to it? I don't know. Maybe I'm just making this shit up. Higher low, low, higher low. Trade through this pivot and find support here. A few times. 3 times. 4 times. This is, I mean, to me, this pivot is in. This swing is in. And he had plenty of opportunity to buy down here. And he said, well, is the high for this weekend on Sunday open? Is the high in with this subtle higher lows on each side? I don't know. We found support down here. We found support at last week. This is last week's low. What's the low in here? It sure as heck looks like it, because we found support all along this area. And it was pretty good support. So maybe buy on this line with a stop below here or a stop below here. And if, put your trailing stop in, put your stop limit in, and maybe you get lucky. Maybe you get lucky and you're in on this turn. This is strong. How strong is it? How strong is this pivot here? I don't know. Not very to me. But buyers did find better prices down here on the support and took it the other way. So, I mean, risk management, right? You bought down here on this support. You bought it, you bought into this here and you followed it, you held on to it. It's midweek, you're still holding. You're still holding to the end of the week here, and at Friday close you were up. I would buy here. Definitely. Absolutely. Look like pretty good support. Look like a pretty good pivot. Because that's all we're looking for. It's just swings, right? So Larry says, the market's just about swings. Small ranges beget large ranges, and large ranges beget small ranges. So, large range here. If you're not in this trade, are you chasing this? I'm not chasing this. All right now, 15 market sentiment's up. I'm looking at the 4-hour, and it's ripping pretty good. Doesn't mean it can't continue. Market could do whatever the hell it wants. People were really excited about gold. Maybe it'll take off to the moon, go out and take out the 1613 high. Maybe 613.5. Will it go up and get it? Maybe. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good today. Clearing out pivots. We're cleaning out so-called resistance zones. So maybe it will. Maybe we'll rock through here. But like anything else, I'm not touching it. A 15-minute looks pretty parabolic on the 15-minute here. Usually those break, they retrace a little bit. It doesn't mean much. It can go wherever the hell it wants, but market sentiment's up. I like to buy when sentiment's low. I like to buy when sentiment is low. Maybe you got lucky and you said, I think the higher low is in here. We traded over here. We traded over this pivot. I'm getting in this trade. You know, we're in no danger of having a continuation, right? Because we have, here's your, your high, but where's your higher low on this side? You've got your higher low here. Sorry. God damn it. You got your lower high here, but where's the other one? There's a higher high up over here. We don't have one. Are we in danger of continuation here? We don't have a pivot. We don't have that here, so maybe no. Maybe you recognize that and you say, I think this is the higher low that I've been looking for on this pivot. Same same stuff. Same stuff we've seen in like countless charts when we're looking at, weekly bottoms or accumulation patterns. They all look the same. Looks like the market repeated this nice swing pattern. Yep. Maybe you recognize that and you got in early. Good for you. And you held. And you didn't get scared here. That's a nice swing, right? Whew. All right, that's gold. Looking forward, what's going on? What are we going to do now? Tell you what I'm not going to do is chase gold to the top. Now, especially where it is on the 4-hour with WPR, it looks. I mean, it looks really strong. It looks really strong. But if this is going to continue here, I would look for a dip. So, and we've got to show. It's got to show us something here, if for any kind of consideration with pivots, to say, hey, this is going to go down. We need to see some pivots, some lower highs in each side before we can make that determination that we're going to be into a short trade here. Well, looks good. Let's just quickly look at COT. I don't want this video to be too long. We're already approaching the 15-minute mark. These have got to be a lot quicker. Well, buy dips, right? So here's the ATR range, and we have not broken. The previous high, we broke and we spent some down days, and ATR has been ATR has been really good on the 9 and the 2.5. Down here, there's a little bit of accumulation. 3-year index is up. I mean, how does it get any better than that? At least with commercial interest. Right, we were buyers down here because we had figured out here that there was some aggressive buying up in this area on the 6-month index. It looked like a pattern here. Well, market sentiment down. Market sentiment down. Comms are up in the bullish territory on the 3-year index. Probably the highest they had been in a long time. And they were consistent here. If we look back a little bit further, we've got data for 1 year, but and then we got what's going on here. So as price starts going up, comps get a little bit less optimistic about it. We break. This is where we break the below 20, and we stay there for a while. We stay there for they stay there. They stay there for quite some time here. What was that? 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks, months. About 4 months, right? There's about 3.5, something like that. 2.5. So this is where they're holding a extremely negative outlook, and we do a little bit of retracing. But then they start doing quite a bit of buying. They start getting pretty optimistic here, and 6-month index finally breaks the 80. So we're at extremes up in here. Buying, 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 aggressive buying. We break the range and off we go, and we're still in it. We're still in this range here. Until this breaks. I mean, if you bought a dip here, amazing. Didn't quite get that look that we like to get on ATR though, for a safe entry, at least with this bullishness, which is, can sometimes be hard to see. But break the range, pull back up into it, continue in the sentiment's direction. Break the range and just run like hell. Pull back into the sentiment, and then continue in the direction. I mean, you guess you had it down here. We had a couple of opportunities to buy right around that range. Never broke it. Never broke it. Busted through the range, pull back just a little bit, continue the sentiment's direction. You don't always get it. Don't always get it, and it doesn't always line up perfectly. I mean, we have to see what's going on. Context, right? Context. Say, well, none of that happened here. What was this? Well, we got to look back further. I can't say. Maybe, looking back on the index, maybe they're coming off a bearish time down here. Come back in. But we're only looking at 1 year data, so. Anyways, let's wrap this up here and just say, moving forward with the week, I'm unfortunately not chasing this because you're a buyer down here. You're a buyer down in this area, so hopefully you're booking some profits. We dropped the 4-hour, and hopefully we're getting into profit land here. And there's your pivot, and we are up over the last close, so we traded right through it. I'm sure it'll come down and test it. I'm sure it'll come down and test this previous week open and this recent high. All right, traders. Good luck. Hope you find yourself on the profitable side of the trade. And hit us up in Discord if you want. Plenty of resources, plenty of charts, plenty of talk. Hopefully there's somebody in there. Yeah. Send us a direct message if you'd like to be a contributor, or if you like the work. If you don't like the work, don't come and complain, because I'm not going to listen. That's a lie. Have yourself a good day.